I'm still on the couch, watching the rain, making lakes on the ground. All my plans that I had to break out, gotta fold them all up in the closet for now. I know we're pushing late October, can't believe it's really over. Where did summer go? Left me watching out the window. Where did summer go? I got nothing to show. I got nothing to show. Tell me in this town how to be if I wanna be around here. But I don't think I wanna be around here anymore. Got a feeling it won't go away. It gets stronger longer that I stay here. And I think it's saying I don't wanna stay here anymore.
Can you hear me?
Bre Kennedy, look at you.
How are you?
I'm doing great. How are you? Are you staying warm?
I am staying warm. I went for a walk because I have been answering back to messages all day for the road too. Look how beautiful it is outside.
It is very nice. It is very nice. I mean, we're in Nashville too, so I can relate. Absolutely.
Yeah, it's nice to have sun. 'Cause, you said you're Nashville?
We're in Nashville now, yes. We used to be in Florida, and now we're in Nashville, freezing. Yeah.
Oh. Yeah, I know. You're like, I want to go back. Yeah, I actually lived in California
Yes.
from the time I was 13 to about 6 years ago. So
Absolutely.
I miss the water and the warmth.
Yeah, totally. Well, look at you. What's the feeling like to be taking a walk when like your single just dropped? You know what I mean? Like, well,
Oh man.
what's on your mind?
Well, other than it being cold,
Yeah.
to be honest with you, I just feel really happy. Really, it's nice to start the year off with an intention of releasing music, and
Yeah.
it feels nice to put something out that you've been like working on for so long, and I've been working on my record for the past, really since last year in March when everything happened. So it's like a nice breath.
Absolutely, Bre Kennedy. Well, listen, let me introduce you to my audience really quickly. First of all, I have to tell you, I'm a fan. We like to keep it professional, but sometimes, Bre Kennedy, a talent comes and you just shrug and you're like, well, you know what I mean? There's nothing I can do. I'm human. Like, look at that songwriting. Like,
that's okay. I saw Casey Musgraves one time.
Exactly.
In a bar, and I was like, I'm such a fan. I don't even know if I could go up and say hi.
Right. Exactly. But yeah, look, obviously, you just released your latest single, The Hardest Part, when we're recording this today, with your friend and fellow bandmate, Hadley Kennary, who you've worked with before on Slippin', for example. And yeah, you've coming off an incredible year musically, if I may say so, Bre. You've released 20-something early last year, low-key masterpiece, honestly, like just outstanding. And and I mean, Intuition, like that's a masterpiece. And then you've opened for Sheryl Crow, for Gary Clark Jr. You've sold out the Exit In, historic venue here in Nashville. Blah blah blah. You're amazing. Welcome to the show.
Oh man, well, thank you. You listing it down, I'm like, I miss those days.
They're here.
Thank you
They're
very
inside
much.
of you.
And thank you for the time you're taking to talk with me. It means
Absolutely.
a lot.
Oh my God, Bre, absolutely. And actually, some Haley Jerston, who took some shots for our show when we arrived here. She also, she sends her regards. She says that she's a big fan of yours and she's worked with you.
Man.
Yeah, great girl.
Oh yeah. She's it all.
Absolutely, absolutely. So I want to chat about the new music, Bre, but if you don't mind, for my audience, talking about your like early life, and then we'll move to the present. Is that okay with you?
Absolutely, yeah. Well,
Awesome.
hello everybody.
I love
Um,
it.
yeah,
So,
I.
so tell
Oh,
us.
go ahead.
So you were born in Utah, right? You were born in Utah,
Born in Utah, yeah.
and then your dad was a music teacher, and he's kind of the one that got the music bug in you. Am I wrong? Am I right?
Yes, my dad. I grew up with a dad who was a blues musician, still
Mm,
is, but so it was definitely always on in the house, and he really wanted me to learn electric guitar
nice.
first, so I rebelled and learned acoustic instead.
But you were really athletic as well. You played volleyball, you did ice skating, so you could have gone in
Oh
many
yeah.
different directions, Bre. But like, what was like the point in your life where you said, I'm going with music? Cool.
Honestly, yeah, you're right. No, I didn't even think about that. I don't know when the exact moment was, but I'm sure it had a lot to do with I joined an all-girl band when I was like 14, 15, and my dad really was stoked about it. And outside of being in high school, playing volleyball and
This
ice
is before
skating,
early April. This is before early April, right?
yeah. So I did all that stuff, but early April was the band,
Okay. Okay. Cool.
and I thought of it as a really fun thing to do, but eventually it just kind of consumed my life, and I fell in love with playing live.
Yeah.
And that bug caught me when I was about 14, 15 years old. I think that was a moment that I was like, we played at Whiskey A Go Go in Los Angeles,
Hmm.
which is pretty crazy
Nice.
to think about that for,
Nice.
being 14, but I just didn't, you're ignorant when you're young, you don't realize it. But now looking back, I mean, when you're
That's amazing.
playing that, you're like, wow, people are listening. People are,
Yeah.
yeah. And I was not great back then, but it's just, yeah, I think that was probably the point that I want to get to the point where I'm on a stage, um,
Yeah.
singing my feelings all the time.
No, I love it. And I love that you have that LA, like West Hollywood, Sunset Boulevard blood within you, because it shows, Brie. Like even like in your shows today, they're more alternative pop, like, like really like
Yeah.
Americana, really good. But there's something inside of you that like there's like a rock star energy. I can't explain. And like that it
Hmm.
comes from all that. It's wonderful. It's a wonderful mix.
Oh, that
You
is a
know?
huge compliment. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. Yeah. I really did love LA, but Nashville totally took me over.
Yeah, let's talk about that for a second, Brie. Like when you tell us about when you drove from LA to Nashville, and I'm talking specifically like tell us about the journey in your Nissan. Like I just want to get inside your head. Like what were you thinking? What was on your playlist? What were the emotions?
Yeah.
Like what
Good
was the trip
question.
like?
Okay. So this was in 2015.
Yeah.
I was at a point in my life where I was just not finding like my roots. It was like no matter it felt like I was just like up in the clouds,
Mm,
very like writing songs but not connecting to exactly where I was at in my life. And I'm
yeah.
sure everybody has that moment in their early 20s. Um and I decided I was moving to Nashville. I set a random date on the calendar.
Right.
I believe it was February 4th. And I
Nashville has that effect on you, doesn't it?
yeah, it really does. You know why? Because it's just community. It's just like,
Right.
and like the celebration of music and people, and yeah, it's really special. And LA has that too. I just hadn't found it
Yeah.
yet. So anyway, yeah, I remember I was working at a place called Evo Kitchen, which isn't there anymore,
Hmm.
on Sunset Boulevard, and I was sitting looking at the hills, and I thought I should be happier here, and I'm not. So
Right.
whatever, I'm gonna pack my car, I'm gonna do it. I didn't even
Good
I'm
for you.
surprised my car made it. I was listening to a lot of Brandy Carlisle.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
sharing
probably.
theaters, mountains, state line.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, definitely. I mean, she was my favorite, you know at the time, still is. And yeah, it seemed like a good shedding of the past, very triumphant to my future kind of thing.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Amazing. I love it. That's so epic. You can almost see like from a movie, like with the wind blowing out your hair, the whole thing.
Yeah, and the car breaking down, but
Oh,
that, you know.
that's not convenient for
No,
the story. Yeah.
but I made it. I made it. That's
I
what
love it.
matters.
I love it, Bree. And in one of your early jobs here in Nashville, which is normal here when people get here, like they hustle, do the separate jobs. You worked at a high-end burger place, and it was here where you met Hadley Kennary. The
Yes,
beginnings
yeah.
of a beautiful partnership, synergy, the whole thing.
Oh yeah.
Just tell us a little bit about like how you met with her, like the chemistry, like were you like, who's this girl? Like how was it?
Oh, Hadley's gonna get mad at me for saying this, but it was the opposite. I think I got here with like a very just very happy outlook, and Hadley was like, who is this girl? She says she's from LA. She just got to this place we work, and she's really nice. What's her angle? And
Weren't
we weren't
people
friends.
asking you? I'm sorry to interrupt. Weren't people asking you like, why would you leave the sun? I'm getting that like all
Oh
the
my
time.
God, so much. Why would you leave the sun? Why would you leave here? It's
Right.
paradise. Why would you? But you just got to do it. You got to try it. You got to live other places. It brings out the best in you. It's like
Exactly.
everyone's a mirror, and if you're looking in the same mirror all the time, you're not going to grow. I don't think,
Exactly.
especially early on.
Exactly. Sorry to interrupt. I just had to like, yeah, I'm getting that a
No,
lot.
no, that's you're right. You're my people. Um, yeah, but no, met Hadley. We weren't friends right away. And over time, I kept being like, let's go grab a beer. Let's, you know, and we did. We just have grown this beautiful friendship over the last 6 years, and somehow all of our friend group started playing music together. We're very lucky, and Hadley just became one of the people who spoke my language, and we grew together. So
Yeah.
inevitably, songs are going to come from that, and she's, I mean, one of my favorite songwriters. So
Amazing. Amazing.
yeah.
Amazing. I do want to talk about the new song in a second, but I want to chat about, you had such a great year last year. But I want to encourage my audience to like listen to Jealous Birds, a whole
Yes, listen.
your whole thing, because it's amazing. A couple EPs, you're working on your first real album now. Uh, let's talk about Where Did Summer Go? Obviously, stunning song. You've talked about it a little bit in detail. You wrote it with Brian Brundage. The acapella, the production. I mean, the brush on the drum set. It's perfect. The whole thing's perfect. I
Oh,
think many.
thank you.
I wanted to ask you, Brie. I think many people have changed, that futuristic mindset of expectations last year. I think we all had like a really reckoning of expectations. Now that we are closer to like the summer of 2021 than the summer of 2020, how do you reflect? Has the way you look at summer of 2020, has it changed?
Oh yeah. I mean, I was so sad last year. Not even not even just, obviously in my own life, you know, things came up after, having that kind of year, but also just for the world. I'm an empath, so when everything around me was sick,
Yeah,
and hurting and suffering, I can't help but just it really takes over me. So last
yeah,
summer was really hard. Obviously, like every artist, I had all these dreams and
hmm,
expectations after Jealous Birds came out, and
right.
after started my last year putting out an EP that I was super proud of, and
Hmm.
it was expecting to get to tour it. And my very last show was in February of last year, almost this time last year, opening
Was it
for
the
Reese
exit
Lewis.
in? Oh, okay, okay, yeah. Hmm.
No, so the Exit In show obviously was my first time headlining there. I dropped 20 something EP that morning. Just full dreams, full
Yeah, yeah.
dreams. And it sold out, and I was just blown away. And then I went to New York in February Lounge opening for Reese Lewis. And
Right.
I just thought, man, this is awesome. I'm gonna be able to do this every week. And then came back home and the world shut down. So my only thought process wasn't like, I was definitely sad about not being able to do all the things I wanted to do. It was more so like a urgency of knowing that the world was going to lose in person live music for a
Yeah,
while.
it's been hard. Yeah.
and for me, like I'm known to like go to the basement here in Nashville on a Tuesday night by myself and have a drink and listen to
Yeah.
um new music. So it was just this knowing of it. And I also knew that I didn't want I had to write an album. I was really, ramped up to write an album. I also knew that I didn't have it in me to write the songs that I wanted to yet, because I knew I was going to be a new person after the year
Sure. Sure.
that everybody had, inevitably. So
Right.
fast forward, if you would have asked anybody that knows me last summer that I'd have an album finished, they would have been like, "Good luck." you know, she's Bree's locked away in her room writing "Where Did Summer Go." But I did. We just on my birthday a few days ago, we
Nice.
finished recording my record.
Oh my God. Amazing.
So things turn around.
I,
Things get
of
better.
course, of course. And I'm sure it's gonna be better for everything that you went through last year. Like that's yeah.
You only got it, yeah. And all the songs ended up being, including "Where Did Summer Go," which won't be on my record, but they all were like notes from my future self
Yeah.
to
Amazing.
me now.
Have you thought about when you're gonna release it at all, Brie?
I believe I'm going to be releasing the beginning of my record as a first song at the beginning of spring. So
Amazing. Amazing. Brie.
probably a summer release. Yeah.
Amazing. Well, listen, this is like we haven't even like publicized the news at all. We're gonna start in the next couple of weeks, but we're gonna start doing like a live show in Germantown in a venue called 100th Taylor, and with my friend Jeff Fasano, and we have these big plans eventually to have
Yeah.
people, the whole thing. But like I don't care. You're cordially invited. Like you like to be one of our first when you release your
Absolutely.
album.
Oh my gosh, I would love to. Are you kidding me?
Exactly. And it's gonna be like
I'm
this, and then
ready.
yeah, so totally. And like, we want it to be
Amazing.
like a really cool thing. But anyway, we'll talk about that later.
No,
Um,
please let me know. I would love to do that. And I'd love to meet you in person.
absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. Brie. Okay, let's talk about like the new song. Because the songwriting is particularly amazing.
No, thank
I
you.
mean, back before I learned to worry, long before somebody hurt me, didn't have to numb my mind because I wasn't on borrowed time. Like, oh my God, sweet mother of cargo pants. like
Amazing.
like Brie, what is like the songwriting process for you and Hadley with something like this? Like, do you guys, how long, like, do you guys, like, is it like a 9 to 5 thing? Like, tell us a little bit about the songwriting process for something like this.
Well, it's funny you say that because during, last year, like the only way that we would feel like we were getting stuff done sometimes is we would literally be like, okay, come over at 9 in the morning. We'll treat it like a 9 to 5 day. And half of my record got written that way. So yeah, but normally we don't write like that. We usually, and for this song in particular, we usually just talk in the car.
Yeah.
Hadley comes on tour with me, and she's my best friend, and we just get in these conversations about being nostalgic and growing up and the mess of it and trying to make light of the really, really ugly parts.
Yeah.
And this one in particular, it was the day that Slippin' came out, and she picked me up. I was at a writing retreat in Gatlinburg, and we drove to South Carolina for a little tour run, and we were talking about, like, man, don't you just miss the time where the only thing we had to worry about when we were kids was like growing up, like
Yeah.
before the mess of like knowing what to do with a broken heart, or like before you even thought about having a drink to numb you out, or
Hmm.
all that stuff that comes, that just this like wave and roller coaster of mess, that just happens to us over the course of our growing up,
Uh-huh.
that later in our life we have to undo all that stuff.
I know.
Anyway,
Yeah, totally.
yeah, so Hadley and I usually just start with a conversation, and then yes, we dedicate time to just sitting down and carving. And sometimes, we write absolute crap, and it just sits on our computer. But the ones that we love the most, or that I love the most writing with Hadley, are the ones like the hardest part that just kind of say it pretty blatantly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. It's an instant classic. Listen, Brie, you've been so generous with your time, and you're freezing your butt off, but I do want to play a little game with you before we let you go.
Oh
Okay?
no. Yeah.
It's
Let's do
called
it.
it's called Flip the Tune. That's the name of the
Okay.
game. And the way it works is simple. But just let me know if you hear me well. We're gonna play 3 10-second clips of your songs
Okay.
in reverse.
Oh, this is good.
In reverse. And we're
Okay.
gonna see how well you know your own songs.
Okay, let's do it.
Okay, but can you hear me well though? Like,
Yeah.
are we good? Okay, cool.
It's so crazy. That sounds crazy. 20 something.
Yes, that is
I only
something.
know because of the risers in the song. They're so epic.
No, yeah, you have pretty and this is not a bad thing. This is a good thing. You have like giveaways. We figured like you have a like that's a good thing. You have a thing. You have a sound. Okay,
Good
let's
thing.
go. Let's go
Helping
with the
me in
second.
this game right now.
Yeah. Totally, totally. Okay,
Come on. Summer go. It's
yeah.
it's that roaring organ thing.
I know. I
We
know.
added that. We added that in the studio after Brian Brenda sent me the guitar part, and it's so like ominous, and I love it.
Yeah, it is. It is. It's great. It's great. Okay, cool. No, you're. I mean, you're acing this big time. All right, one more. This is for the perfect score. Amazing.
Okay.
Here we go.
Oops, hey. Oops, hey.
It's so funny. I'm like, I was gonna say, hey. I think it's intuition.
It is intuition. Oh my God, you are unbelievable. You're the best. You have done the best. I mean,
Really?
confident, quick, 3 for 3. This is the best. Yeah,
The
absolutely.
cold makes me sharp.
Like there you go. You are a true connoisseur of your own art.
That was a good game. I
Listen,
like that game.
awesome. Well, Bre Kennedy,
Hey,
you said it all. It's been a
thank
pleasure
you
connecting.
so much.
Absolutely, absolutely. Thanks for joining. We'll be in touch. Thank you so much.